Hola familia, soy Catalina. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about what to expect with a 3-year-old. So a 3-year-old that has moved up to primary or has started in our primary classroom is now very independent. They know how to use the toilet, they know how to speak, they can feed themselves, they can speak up for themselves. Of course, they will always be aided in all of these areas throughout their time in primary. But I want to give you a little glimpse on what their day will look like. They will typically be invited to work with a lot of practical life. Some may have had practical life in toddlers, some may not have had. It just depends whether they were here or not, or what their home environment was like. But practical life, again, is the areas of caring for yourself, for others, in the environment. So caring for plants, caring for animals, polishing, cleaning, washing, a lot of food preparation, all of that meets all of the needs of the human, physical, emotional, mental. It helps with coordination, balance, connecting the brain and the body for purposeful activity. That's what the 3-year-old will be working on the most. They will be encouraged to do that because practical life is so important at aiding the child in concentration and focus. So even if they had practical life in the toddler environment, the practical life is short, whereas in primary it's going to be longer, more steps. It's going to require more focus, concentration, more following a sequence. That is so beneficial. Children must go through this stage so that later on, when they're introduced to math or reading material, they have the capacity to follow a sequence of steps and to stay engaged and focused with the work for a long period of time. So I just want to emphasize how important practical life is and how important it is for a child to wash tables, scrub dishes, fruit. Highly, highly important. The child is exploding into language, right? They have so much vocabulary. They love language. They want to learn. So there's going to be a lot more very rich language, real language, scientific names. They love it. Geography, everything. Remember, they're in that absorbent mind, so they want to learn how to say what everything is and the name of it. And we will give them all those names. But they're also now starting to be interested in reading around this age. And they're sensorial learners, so they must trace. In the Montessori classroom, we use cursive. So they're going to start learning how to trace and hear the sounds and words. Let me show you what looks like. And they'll start tracing those sounds and putting them together. It's going to be a lot of fun. There are fun language games where they learn the sounds, the symbols, and they eventually start putting them together and start writing and then reading. But the 3-year-old usually is just learning the sound at this stage. They'll go as fast or as slow as they need. And then sensorial. Sensorial is very important. The children will also be working a lot with the sensorial material, which are the beautiful wooden material that you see in the Montessori classroom. The tower that's pink, the stairs that are brown, the little knobs that are made of wood, all of that beautiful crafted material. That's for the education and refinement of the senses. They get to learn heavy and light and wide and narrow by experimenting and exploring it with their hands. And it's all very high quality. It's mathematically correct, and they get to explore the sensorial material and make connections. The teacher will give them a lesson on it, but they get to explore and work with it as long as they like. I also want to emphasize that in our classrooms, children work with things as long as they like. It's very important that they are allowed to repeat and focus, and then nobody interrupts them. That is their right, and that's what we want to see. I would rather have a child doing the pink tower for 3 hours than doing 20 things, which might seem weird, but that's what they need. If they focus on something for 3 hours, it means they really met a need that they had. And that's our goal, is that they're fulfilling and being driven from within to act on the environment with what is meeting their needs and satisfying that. Then once that need is satisfied, they move on from that and they go on to something different. But having a child go from thing to thing doesn't aid their concentration and focus, and that means that you're not allowing them to move from within. So a lot of social emotional work will be doing is what the children will be doing too. They'll learn a lot about grace and courtesies, which is how they learn about the freedoms and the limits in the classroom, what they can and cannot do, how they can walk, they can interact, they can touch, but how they may use the material. Everything has a place and a purpose. They will learn how to use an indoor voice, how to use walking feet. When they are inside, they will learn what all the tools are for and how to treat them with respect. We will always have our peace areas and teach them breathing techniques and composure and communication skills. So that's the main focus of the 3-year-olds in the primary classroom, generally speaking. I hope that that's helpful, and we cannot wait to see our 3-year-old friends soon.